Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Lilith Hellfire, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics Summer 69.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
No evil shall escape my sight.
that those who worship evil's might.
beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
All right. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, we opened it, and now we're going to be closing Summer of 69.
This is the end.
It all comes down to this.
And what does it come down to, Phil? In one word.
Oregano.
You got it.
Secret spice.
It's the secret, part of Green Lantern's vulnerability.
Oh, yes. And yeah, I almost forgot since it was last week, but yes, Dark Crisis #2 came out. So
Yes, I wanted to pick your brain on that. So consider pick.
the majority of the issue was, Deathstroke versus Nightwing and the Titans. But yes, the last couple pages we see what opens up with Kyle Rayner, I guess, powerless on some kind of alien ship.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, looks like he's like, I don't know if he shot one of the aliens or what, but he gives him something to put on his wound. He's like, just feel lucky that you're not I'm not Guy or John. They wouldn't have, been so easy on you.
That is probably true.
No, Ray, not Quasar.
We love Quasar. Hey, Ray.
So as he's like running, and all of a sudden Kyle hears a voice behind him. He turns and shoots, and there's Hal and Joe behind him. And Hal's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And Joe goes, does everyone shoot at you when they first see you?
I think that's fair. I'll grant that. That's fair.
And so, then Hal explains to Kyle everything that happened, death of the Justice League, blah, 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 blah. So he gives him he goes here, and he gives him a ring, and then, they say something about needing backup, and then that's the last page with all those Green Lanterns on the page. Yeah.
I figured that was probably going to be the last page. That was one of the spoiler pages from last week, right? That DC posted or something, I guess, or
yeah. Yes, Ray. We've already talked about the painting.
That is actually Otis Ray. The boys sent the picture in, and they do a painting. They do that's called the Ambassador, which is perfect because he's a Basset Hound, so it's the Ambassador. But that's actually his face on that painting that they ordered for her.
That'd probably be a delay there.
The more you know. Sorry.
So yes, there wasn't a ton of Green Lantern in the issue, but yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, cool. I still, unless those are constructs, then that kind of
they look like regular lanterns. So I don't know.
Flies in the face of how the last volume of Green Lantern ended. Months ago. Sorry,
unless it was delayed.
There was an undercurrent to that when I said that, right? Did you get that?
What? Yeah.
It ended months ago.
Oh yeah. I gotcha. And probably not getting a regular Lantern book anytime soon. So.
Probably not until 2023.
Probably not.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But
trying to think. I don't think there's any other Lantern news, is there? There's still no news on that show. I know Harley Quinn season 3 is starting soon, but
yeah, with a certain Dick Grayson probably guest starring.
Yes, Nightwing. Yes,
You don't know anybody that's excited about that, do you?
I of course love Nightwing.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Diggity dank.
So. Oh, did you watch the finale of Strange New Worlds?
Yes, I did. That is just such an awesome show.
I know.
I mean, I'm kind of sad now because I go into the office 2 days a week, and Thursday is one of those days. So I'd go in and I'd talk to one of my coworkers, like, "It's Thursday, dude. Guess what we're doing when we get home? Like, we're gonna go watch Star Trek: Strange New Worlds." I'm like, "Yes. What'd you think of the last time?" Just geek out on it.
And again, it's is Kirk basically Hal Jordan? Because like, how many different ways can like they say even his own brother be like, yeah, he likes to bend the rules, but he's a good captain.
I think the actor is good, but he didn't strike me as Kirk like. I've
heard that from people. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he had the physicality for it. He looked a little too
thin.
He didn't look because Shatner was kind of a big dude.
Wearing a girdle. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think he did a good job. It's just he didn't completely sell me on him being Kirk.
Yeah, and maybe some of that was like alternate timeline, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it could have been because it was 7 years. Maybe he hadn't been working out. I don't know.
I meant more the personality, but yeah, too. What else do we have? Did you start watching The Boys season 3?
Oh yeah, we finished it. Yep.
Nice.
Very interesting ending.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer the status quo of a certain character trying to kill them and them trying to kill a certain character can endure. Because they've played out a couple of scenarios now, and like, so I guess we'll see.
Hey, wait a minute. We got a like on our. Guess who gave us a like?
Who gave us a like?
Soshin.
Oh my goodness!
It's been a long time. Where have you been? We miss you.
We've moved from yellow to green.
Mm-hmm.
From the quantum zone to sector 2814. That actually works as a metaphor, doesn't it? That's actually pretty good.
Exactly. I'm trying to think what other TV or movies. Oh, you probably didn't go to see Thor, did you?
No, and have we chatted about this?
What?
I know a lot of people love Ragnarok. It doesn't work for me. I think I may have mentioned that.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard that from some people.
It's the seesaw. You go from slapstick to Wagnerian and opera. And you just bounce, and it just.
Then you'll probably feel the same about this movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I figured it would be more of the same, but I mean. It looks good. I mean, and Natalie Portman, I mean, man, talk about her arms, dude.
Oh yeah.
She's
she
seriously buff.
She does a good job in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, no, it again, like I said, it's fine. It's if however you feel about Ragnarok's probably how you'll feel about that, but I'd still say give it a watch.
I mean, it's got a lot of great actors in it. I mean, and Hemsworth really is an awesome comedic actor.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel like the comedy worked really well with the genocidal stuff that was going on in Ragnarok. But hey, it works for a lot of people, so no harm, no foul. It just didn't work for me.
And of course, it threw end credits, kids. So there's 2 scenes.
2 scenes. Are they? You can spoil them for me if you. I don't mind.
Spoilers. Okay, kids, get out if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Well, the first one, we'll say, let's just say during the movie they get into a little tiff with Zeus.
Oh, okay.
So, oh God, Ray, did you see this yet? So in the first end credits scene, Zeus sends his son to Earth. So,
Oh, nice. Very
uh-huh.
nice.
Yeah, and then I won't spoil the second one even for you, but it has something to do with like the aftermath of something that happens in the movie. So,
okay.
yeah.
Very cool. I mean, because I'm an old school Avengers fan, and Roger Stern, Mansion Siege,
Mm-hmm.
Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Those are the classics right there.
Exactly. All right. Trying to think. Is there anything else? Anything else new going on?
Didn't I think Joe was in the DC Pride came out recently, didn't it? Like maybe a couple weeks ago.
I think I didn't get that issue. I did get the Tim Drake Pride special, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think Joe K was in that.
I think she
issue.
was in that. It had a nice rainbow kind of color stack, like you would see with the the lantern covers sometimes. So yeah, it was cool. I think I've got it here. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Oh, we didn't talk about couple. I forget how many weeks ago it was. Did you pick up the last part of Silver Surfer?
Oh, I think I think number 5's there. I haven't read it yet though.
Okay.
Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we give it thumbs down. Ooh, Moon Knight comes out tomorrow, Ray.
Who?
Who? Like Guardians of the Galaxy. Who? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then there's some other books.
Batman, my favorite character.
That's what I was waiting for right there.
He's gonna get you, man. Remember, we're as kids in the month of September, Little Hellfire is gonna be on vacation. So yeah, you're in for some treats, including a over on the other feed. Yeah, a 2-part Wonder Man special with the two of us, Justin, and of course Ray. So
that was such a fun series.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, it was written by you know who.
Of course, yes. There were so many books that suffered the same fate at that time.
I know. I was surprised. I thought I only had one. I was only missing one. I was missing one in a regular issue and the annual for that whole series. So I ordered them. I have them.
I think I've got the whole run here.
Yeah,
with the annual.
29 issues and 2 annuals for Wonder Man. Yeah, I have them all now.
Nice.
Before we do the podcast, I'm going to read through the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back and finish reading the Spectre. By who, Phil?
Oh, by friend of the show. Yes, of course. I was going to say, even if you don't read it, I mean, eventually we're going to get there.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Nice. I need to re-listen to the Justice League one that we did with him, because we talked about imagination with willpower being a way of life, a way to live, and I want to get his. Because I thought I never thought of it like that, and that's freaking brilliant.
Exactly. All right, so should we jump into these issues?
You bet. Into one of the rare 2-part 1960s DC.
That's right, kids. We left you on a cliffhanger. Although, yes, while technically the last part of summer '69, yes, these issues are from 1970. So, All right. So, Green Lantern, Volume 2, number 74, from January 1970. Lost in Space.
For like 5 seconds.
I know. It was a popular title back then. Lost in Space. Yeah. Writer Mike Friedrich, penciler Gil Kane, inker Murphy Anderson, and editor Julius Schwartz.
Awesome cover too, by the way.
Oh yeah, with him and Tom, yeah.
And Sinestro. Oh, spoilers.
Whose legs are those? But yes, remember, kids. Yes, we continued from a cliffhanger last time. Hal Jordan has been transported into space and stripped of all of his memories of being Green Lantern by Star Sapphire.
With no memory of how he got there, Hal begins to go mad, and when he wishes he could make a toy rocket that he has in his pocket take him home, he unconsciously activates his power ring, which turns the toy into the real thing, causing the Green Lantern to remember who he is and return to Earth. And again, it's like, yes, he was surviving in space because, the ring had that, has its automatic charge, won't let him die.
Which is weird, and I think rightfully ignored later on,
Yeah.
Eventually, it just gets kind of, we're not going to talk about that.
It's like, yeah, he's not in danger. He's not going to die.
Yeah.
There, Green Lantern learns that Sinestro is behind the resurrection of Star Sapphire and hopes to use her to destroy his most hated foe, even going so far as suggest that the two begin a relationship. Girl, he's just using you.
That's right.
Well, he's mortal enemy. As the battle rages on, Star Sapphire is torn between her loyalty to Sinestro and her desire to force Green Lantern to be her husband. Learning of the battle from the radio, Tom rushes off to help Hal the best he can. He's like, he needs his battery.
Yeah, he needs a power battery.
Because the battery runs out. The battery runs out.
Yeah.
With his power ring drained of energy, Hal is easily defeated. However, before Sinestro can defeat the Green Lantern, Star Sapphire decides that she wants Green Lantern alive and battles Sinestro. As Green Lantern struggles to get away, he is met by Tom, who has brought his power battery to him, allowing the Green Lantern to recharge his ring and rejoin the battle. So how... What did you think about that? Because it's like supposedly he was invisible in his room, but Tom's like, because there's a cycle on the invisibility. He's like, oh, I caught it in between cycle.
We're gonna go with it, right? We're just going with it.
I mean, could he have just been like, I had to go like this, all over the.
I looked around your room.
And again, I mean, I'm sure there's places you could guess, like on a table or something, or.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But I mean,
hard.
the dynamics between Star Sapphire and Green Lantern are also somewhat weird as well.
Yeah. First, Green Lantern uses his power to change Star Sapphire back into Carol Ferris and then begins to fight Sinestro once more. Sinestro suddenly gives up and turns over his yellow power ring to the Green Lantern. When the Green Lantern is puzzled, Sinestro explains that there is more than one way to win a battle before teleporting away. And that was weird too, because he was like, wait a minute, was he even really here? Or was he just like in
an astral projection?
I know, but I'm like, are you holding his ring or are you not holding his ring?
Yeah.
Or did that ring teleport too?
Yeah. That was a weird kind of ending to that. Did any of this really happen? Was he ever really here? Tune in next time to not find out.
Damn, I shouldn't have drank so much. Oh my, but yeah, that's like, oh, we'll be back. Green Lantern then checks to see how Carol was doing and decides to tell her once and for all that she is really Star Sapphire. The news horrifies Carol, who ends up fleeing from the Green Lantern in tears. Later, changing back to his civilian identity of Hal Jordan, he pays one last visit to his friend Tom and tries to deal with losing Carol.
Yeah.
When he was like, oh, I guess I have to do it, at first I'm like, oh, you're going to tell her you're Hal Jordan? Like, no.
No, I'm going to tell you you're Star Sapphire. Wait, what?
Yeah, man, he was really just like, yeah, you're Star Sapphire. Was there easier ways he could have did that? So, what did you think, Will?
I mean, it was certainly of its time.
Yes.
But I mean, the cover was great. The art was good. I mean, the art was Gil Kane, so the art.
Oh yeah,
the art's great. The story was not necessarily as complex as one would hope after reading a modern comic, perhaps. But it was still it was fun. I mean, it was fun.
Well, again, there's always a lot of punch 'em ups.
Yeah.
In this era.
We'll see that in the next issue too, won't we?
Oh, this issue. All right, would you like to get to this issue?
You bet. Another great cover by Gil Kane.
Yes. Green Lantern, Volume 2, number 75, March 1970. So, yes, we've skipped a month again. March 1970. The Golden Obelisk of Qward. Right? Gil Kane rocks. That's right. That's right, Ray.
That's right.
Writer John Broom this time. Penciler Gil Kane again. Inker Joe Galea. And editor Julius Schwartz. Green Lantern learns that Olivia Reynolds is ill. Hal decides to help her out as Green Lantern and uses his power ring to see what is wrong with her. Detecting the U-Mind force within her being pulled to some far-off place as the source, Green Lantern decides to investigate. However, her doctor insists that he tags along for the sake of his medical curiosity. That's already a lot to unpack.
Yes, that is a lot to unpack.
Because Hal Jordan makes a toy sale and it's just like, boy, Olivia never showed up. And
I better go find out where she is. I better call her hotel. Nope, she's not there. She's in the hospital.
and as she has no one else, I would go see her in the hospital, but they won't let Hal Jordan in, but they'll let the Green Lantern in.
That's right, because he's the Green Lantern.
I forget, is it in the beginning or towards the end where they're just like, oh, they explain about the whole U-Mind thing. They're like, oh yeah, it happened in an issue of the Flash. It's like, wait, really?
Yeah, I hadn't realized that, but we had a nice editor's note. We love editor's notes, and there it was.
I guess in a backup, maybe, or wonder if it'll.
I don't know. It was just a team up. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever read that one.
I don't think I have.
Really? How Jordan showed up? You didn't read it?
I wasn't alive.
I know, but I thought you went back and read all those old issues.
No, I kind of want to, but that's a pretty big time investment, and I don't have the free time right now. But I do want to go back through and read them. There's a really great reading order on Reddit that I've kind of adapted and made a checklist from. But yeah, there's a pretty good reading order that I'd like to follow.
Yes. The two men follow the source of the pool to a portal that takes them to the antimatter world of Qward. Surprised Sinestro isn't waiting there for it.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that where he would have teleported?
You would think. Or is Hal even like, oh yeah, I don't know if he's still in his size cells. So, did he just project his,
Yeah, we don't know.
We never answer that. Was he still locked up? We don't know. Where they are attacked by the Weaponers. At first, Hal manages to fight them off, but the Weaponers pull out a gigantic cannon that can kill him with sonic waves, forcing them to retreat. Still tracking the source, they come across two musicians whom they jump and steal their clothing and musical instruments. It's like wandering minstrels. They're like, give me that.
Come here.
And I'm like, have we ever seen this before? Just like wandering musicians in Qward?
No, we have not. And I don't think we see it again. Ever.
And I love how how he would explain this issue to the doctors, like, oh yeah, it's like, this is a reverse universe, man. They love evil and stuff. But they're just like musicians wandering around. There's not even an effort made to say, oh, they're evil musicians.
Exactly. It's just they're musicians. But apparently the other Qwardians don't hold them in very high esteem. Oh, they won't try to steal anything. They're just traveling, song makers.
1970. They're a bunch of hippies. Long-haired, they're all rockers. Oh my god. Tracking the, I'm like, really? Couldn't have stole like some weaponer disguise? No, it's like musicians. Tracking the source to a Qwardian city, they learn that the people in this town believe that an ancient, impenetrable tower is the source to weapons and riches beyond one's wildest imaginings. To their surprise, they find that Olivia has been transported to Qward so they can use her U-Mind to power a device that will finally bring the tower down. Where have I heard this story before? In 1990, was that 2?
Perhaps. Maybe it was 93. Yeah, because it was like it was like in the 30s or 40s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the issue 38, 39.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my brother problem. It's just like, no. Well, even like even when they name check the Flash issue, it's like, oh no, Olivia, you need to keep her healthy because what those aliens
They depend on her U-Mind or something. Yeah, it's weird.
like aliens or whatever. Yeah, but I'm just like, so what happens when she dies? Even if she dies of old age, what happens when she dies?
That's a problem for another day.
Nobody's worried. Yeah, no one's worried about that. Or what if something happens to her? What if the feedback like hurts her? It's like Al doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation. And then as the issue progresses, the explanations that we get for things are somewhat goofy.
By next issue, none of this is gonna matter.
That's right. None of it matters at all.
Denny O'Neil comes in next issue. Hard traveling heroes. None of this matters.
That is correct.
Succeeding, they find it containing only a message from its
Oh,
domain.
I love this.
Expressing his disappointment over the Weaponer's choice of lifestyle.
Yeah, so apparently this obelisk has been there and forced the Weaponers to increase their technology so they can finally destroy it. And when they destroy it, it's like, neener, we tricked you into advancing your technology so you could blow this up and hear this message.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me yeah. Build your weapon so you can break in and I can mock you for building weapons.
For how long it took you to break in.
So was it just like busy work?
Making them evolve their technology, I guess. I don't know. But Olivia, if I remember right, she's like she's in a trance, or she doesn't say anything, or she's just kind of there. Right? I mean,
yeah. Which doesn't matter when we get to the end anyway, but
exactly.
Green Lantern
memory wipe. Sorry.
Yes. Green Lantern and the Doctor reveal themselves and free Olivia, fighting the whole way back to the portal, returning to Earth unharmed. There, Olivia recovers in due time, and Green Lantern worries that her U-Mind may affect the universe once more, but leaves to resume the regular course of his life. Yeah, that U-Mind might be trouble, but I don't got time for that today.
Deal with that later, man.
I'm about to take a road trip.
I'm going to take a road trip, and I'll deal with that in about, let's say 23 years. I'm going to set my watch for 23 years.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, did we ever get back to Olivia Reynolds before that?
I don't think so. I don't. Because I think Hal becomes a trucker pretty soon during right after Hard Traveling Heroes. I think that happened. I think he becomes a trucker. The collection's called Space Traveling Heroes, so it's like 190 through 106 or so. I think he's a trucker in that, but it's been a long time since I read some of those. So,
oh Lord, is that with Eddie?
Probably.
I think Eddie might show up in might be in another flashback up too.
So do I understand it correctly in that?
Who knows?
Her U-Mind was the Organo. I know we've been calling it Oregano.
I know. I believe so.
And it was what powered the weapon that nearly killed him, but was later retconned 23 years later to say that it had sapped his will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that am I piecing that all together correctly?
I guess, yeah.
Because that's what that writer said is what shook his confidence in why hard traveling heroes happened. And then Green
Ooh.
Arrow, of course, says BS.
I mean, it's a retcon, but I mean, yeah, I guess so. And is that also why he's just like, you mind, you? Yeah, no, I'm out of here.
I'm out, man. I'm out.
I mean, if you want to retcon it, again, is that just like any time he was all wishy washy over the years? Yeah, that writer was like,
This
yeah,
is why.
it was the Ray, yeah,
And he finally shook it off. Done.
yeah, just in time to come Parallax.
Exactly. Wow. I feel like there's a coincidence in there or something. Anyway.
Or unless you really want to retcon this bad boy, no. The whole time it's been Parallax, but in issue 39, when he thinks it was the Ray that sapped his strength, no, that's Parallax telling him, no, don't look for me. It was the Ray who messed you up. There's no one else in here.
And that's weird because the way they set it up, Hal going into the central power battery, that didn't happen until they were after they executed Sinestro in the end of this run, right?
Technically, but then remember in
Emerald
1990,
Dawn,
Dawn, he does it, yeah, in the beginning of his career. Yeah.
And I have to say, so Emerald Dawn and then Emerald Dawn 2, if I remember right, Emerald Dawn 2 takes place between panels of Emerald Dawn 1, if I remember right.
Well, yeah, kind of like those last couple pages, because then at the end, the one they show him getting out of prison, but yeah, 2 is like when he's in prison, yeah.
So I really liked those when those came out, but I haven't reread it recently, but I've been reading about it and watching a couple of videos on it. But Secret Origin is a really good kind of retelling, a really awesome modern retelling of his origin, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So,
we'll get there because that's part of the regular Green Lantern series. Yeah,
I think it's like it's weird because they do Rebirth and then they do the regular series, and we don't get to Secret Origin until like 20 something, I think.
I think it's something like that. Yeah. Probably closer to what is that? War? Not is it War?
Sinestro Core War.
Sinestro Core War. Yeah.
And then that's when everything heats up with the War of Light and Blackest Night and then Brightest Day and
yeah.
Lots of stuff to read.
Then we'll get the New 52. There'll be Green Lantern books, a Red Lantern book, a Sinestro book.
Larfleeze book.
Yes, Larfleeze.
Who was writing? Wasn't there a Larfleeze Christmas special? I'm not making that up. Did that just not come out of my demented brain? There was a Larfleeze Christmas special. I think it
did. I don't think I read it, but I believe there was a Larfleeze. A humbug.
Which is pretty awesome when you think about it. Yeah, I think I remember reading it where he's writing to Santa or something.
I don't think I read it, but why does that sound familiar? Maybe I did read it.
So, at this point in the series, we're going on, Showcase 22, 23, and 24. Well, Showcase 22, really, and then... But for the most part, not even a full issue story for quite a while. And then once we started getting full issue stories, this is the only two-parter that I know. I mean, the previous 2 issues were the only two-parter that I know of in the series. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked super close on some of those earlier ones, but it's strange because we then hit Hard Traveling Heroes, which are full issues. And then after Hard Traveling Heroes, I would say a huge chunk of Green Lantern, the issues following that up until 180 or so, have backup stories in them. So there's not a full issue of Green Lantern hardly to be found,
Yeah.
which is really I always found kind of weird. I kind of feel like that hurt the series over the
Oh, yeah.
long haul because you're not getting a full 22 pages. You're getting a 12 or 14 page story, and then you're getting a backup. And sometimes those backups were like Adam Strange. Sometimes they were Tales of the Core, which a good 8-page Tales of the Core is awesome. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in the long run that hurt it.
Yeah, you think like shorter stories, and then then Hal quits and
Mhm.
get John in. I mean, and then after start with 201. I mean, the Green Lantern Corps is nice, but you have like 6, 7 Green Lanterns on Earth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, well, I was watching. I don't know if it was Mosaic or podcast of Oa. I can't remember which, or maybe it was another podcast where they just kind of offhand mentioned that Green Lantern by Englehart and Joe Staton, which was the 200, 201, up through,
Yeah.
was a really great selling book at the time. And I haven't fact checked this because I don't know for sure. But they then used the popularity of Green Lantern at that time to anchor Action Comics Weekly. But then Englehart and Staton had no interest in writing short stories.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep doing what they were, so they left, and then we see what happens, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
No,
that's an
really.
interesting take that I had
Huh.
no idea. So I'm gonna research that a little bit more, I think, too.
I mean, I've heard that in comics before. They changed direction, and the creative team's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that."
Mhm.
So,
But I mean, I hadn't realized that it was kind of one of the best sellers at the time.
but yeah, why you
And that's with success.
yeah, why are you ending that if it's selling good? I mean, there's how many people that could anchor that Action Comics? Superman was in it,
Who?
why wasn't
I
Superman
don't
the
know.
anchor of Action Comics?
Oh wait, I know who could do it, Phil.
What? Oh, yes, Ray. I blame Will.
Batman.
That's
My
who.
favorite character.
I mean, unless they wanted something more cosmic again.
But I mean, we were getting
And
Earthbound stories.
there was at least 2 different arcs in Action Comics Weekly. There was like a Nightwing and Speedy, like
Mhm.
2 different stories. So unless they didn't want to do Batman because Nightwing was there.
Well, and then the end of the actually, whatever the podcast was, they were talking about Lord Malvolio. I think I mentioned that. That's why it came up, because they were talking about Malvolio, which was the last. That was the last arc, I think, in Action Comics Weekly with Green Lantern.
Yeah, I think it was. It was
Yeah.
one of, if not the still plotting his revenge.
Yep, still from wherever, whenever, whatever.
You want to hear something depressing, Will?
Fire away, man.
All right, so yeah, next time we're gonna be back to back to normal with the Cal Rayner stuff. So we'll be back to 1998 next week.
Uh-huh.
From 1970 to 1998 is 28 years.
Uh-huh.
1998 to 2022, 24 years.
Yes, I think we had this discussion before we went on about being.
Yes.
I think that the term, there's a really scientific term for this. It's called being old.
Oh, someone else would like to chime in about being old.
Oh.
No. Oh, no, he's talking about Batman.
Yeah. It works either way.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so we're almost as far out from 1998 as 1970 was from 1990.
Yeah. Well, and I did in the back of the omnibus there that I was reading these issues in, they had quick little bios, and so I checked out Gil Kane's, and it turns out he died in 2000, so he didn't live to see the literal rebirth of Green Lantern, which is kind of sad, but
yeah. And I was gonna say, like, when people read, I swear I heard this somewhere. When people read digital stuff, like, don't the creative teams get like a certain amount of? I thought I heard that somewhere. Like, for every read, the creator gets something. I thought.
I think so. I think it really depends on. I mean, it depends on, indie creators. It's different with Comixology, but because typically they buy the issue, then they have it. But for things like Marvel Unlimited or the DC, do you call it DC Finite? I think that's what I've heard you call it.
Yes, yeah.
But I think those are different because they give them big chunks of issues. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they do it. I think I've read some creators complain. Some DC and Marvel creators complain about it a little bit, but I don't remember what happened with it.
I was gonna say, even like Gil Kane, like, where does that money go? Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. Hey, thanks, Ray.
Yeah. Awesome issue 3 of Crossover Division. Wow, Chef's Kiss.
Nice. Thank you.
Really love the variety of classic characters, and he's already backed issue 4. Yeah, I gotta do that.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You'll get your book in 2025 because you live so far away, Ray.
Actually, the shipping worked out pretty well this time, I think.
Oh,
Right,
did
Ray?
it?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I'll just say it. I used something called Pirate Ship. Yes, it's called Pirate Ship, and yes, they say "Yar" log in, and they talk like pirates, but it's the shipping was the shipping. I was able to ship there around the COVID because the USPS was not shipping because of COVID.
Oh,
and it didn't really cost an arm and a leg. It was actually nice. So yeah, thumbs up for Pirate Ship. Yard.
Yeah, need to take a pirate ship to Australia, kids.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're getting there.
Pirates, arg.
So anything else on these? Okay, we're done with Summer of '69. So
woohoo!
What are your final thoughts on Summer of '69?
It was. I don't think I had ever read these issues, so it was cool to go back and read them.
Mm-hmm.
But the audience for these were, in reality, young boys.
Yeah, at least that's what they thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because there's just like the worst thing that could happen to a man. Oh, is get married. Ooh, girls. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, there was a plot in one of the 1969 Batman issues. Like the crooks were trying to get Batman married. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they are of their time and they're kind of fun. Obvious problems with Tom's appearances.
Well, yeah.
But Gil Kane, his art it transcends the time that he drew it in. It's just really amazing art. In the stories, we went from, pretty decent, who's the writer? John Broome stories.
Yeah.
Which had kind of, science bent to them. You had a Gardner Fox kind of golden age-esque where it's just kind of magic wishing ring stuff. And we had this 2-parter by, Mike Friedrich. So it's I think I really think the idea of, a cohesive and complex kind of chronology and characterization for these DC characters hadn't really taken hold yet. We're going to see that in issue 76, which I believe is May of 1970. I think they were doing every other month.
It seems like yeah.
So I think it would have been May of 70. Where Denny O'Neil comes in, and there is which is a shock. If you read this number 75,
oh yeah,
and then you read 76, it's night and day. This is a fantasy intended for children. And it's got some great, and I want to say simplistic, but that's not an insult to Kane, because drawing simplistic is extraordinarily difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But then you switch over to Denny O'Neil, and Neil freaking Adams, who's drawing in a really naturalistic, realistic, much more realistic style. And, and then Denny O'Neil's writing these stories, that are, he's pulling from the newspapers, of the day, overpopulation, drug problems, racism. And, I can only imagine, because I wasn't alive yet, because I'm not that old, Phil.
I didn't say it.
I can only imagine, being a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old. Well, this number 75 is cool. Can't wait for 2 more months. Pick up 76. To quote our eminently quotable friend Ray, what the F?
What the F?
I mean, it would have just been, nuts. I mean, it would be something to experience, I'm sure.
I mean, I guess I think pretty sure sales were low. So I wonder how many. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people jumped on board, but I wonder how many stuck around from 75 to 76.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But comics, back then had so much. Oh, you read comics because you can't really read. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Now it's like people are like, man, I wish my kid would read comics.
Yeah. Exactly. Get them off TikTok. I'm sorry. But it's just kind of mind-boggling to me. I mean, I guess I don't know if and you'll have to tell me this, because I know you guys have been doing Batman stuff. Did the transition from the 60s camp, television series style in the Batman books, did that change overnight with Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams there as well, or was it kind of a slower build?
Well, Denny hasn't come in yet, so it is kind of like it's a weird time. It's like they don't know what they want to be. A lot of it does seem like the 66 campiness. Yeah, because I don't think they came in until like 1970. Yeah, so we didn't even touch 1970. We just did 1969.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was right before Denny came in, because we were like, oh,
Well,
yeah.
that has to be an interesting time creatively for him, because if he's doing both Green Lantern and Batman, and he's actually pushing the comics medium forward with his Green Lantern work, and along with Neil Adams, not to take anything away from Neil Adams, but then he's actually kind of taking the Batman character and reclaiming him and pushing him more into that, the Dark Knight, the more realistic, grim Avenger of the night kind of thing. And to do that at the same time, that's freaking impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then everybody knows, him and Neil Adams on Batman.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what kind of rescued Batman from. I mean, not that the 60s camp show stuff is cool, but it was of a time, and that time had passed, I think, by that point. And
it was kind of slogging down the comic. Yeah. Yeah, they needed that.
Batman, my favorite character.
Nice.
All right. Anything else, William?
This has been fun. Summer of '69. Very cool. I applaud Lilith for. I assume we have Lilith to thank for this. So bravo, Lilith.
Yeah. Come on, yeah.
Suck it, Russell.
Oh, sorry.
Either do the 6 or do the 9.
There you go. But yeah, thank you, Lilith Hellfire. So I was going to say, enough of this Hal Jordan. Next week, oh wait,
get back to more Hal Jordan. Yes,
that's right, 1998, kids. Because remember where we left Cal Rayner a month ago? Yes, basically back in time at the feet of Hal Jordan. So yes, next week will be Emerald Knights from Green Lantern 100 through 106.
I haven't. I usually try to read the day of, so that it's all fresh.
Yes.
Because I know Mars knows a lot of the continuity. I mean, does he place this in continuity between issues? I can't remember if he does.
It's been
or
a while
not.
since I reread, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, if it's not a specific issue, it's pretty close to a specific time. Yeah, it's like I'd say it's within the first like 40. Like again, I haven't reread them yet, but I think it's within like the first 40 issues or so, maybe.
I may have to do some research on that to see if somebody has placed it. Maybe some other Green Lantern fans have placed it.
Ray's new favorite DC is Black Canary.
Nice.
Fishnets, huh, Ray?
Is it? Well, doesn't she become a Green Lantern in the deceased?
Oh yeah, the zombie one.
book,
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, and did I see a panel from a DC versus Vampire that was not necessarily awesome for a character that we don't necessarily talk about a lot, but at the hands of a character that someone here very much loves?
Oh yeah, well Ray loved that too. Yes, because in issue 6, like they took a break, so it was like I think it was at least 2 months ago. Yeah, it's like in issue 6. Yeah, they revealed that Nightwing was the like Lord of the Vampires, and yes, put his fist through Batman.
Batman, my favorite character.
Yeah. I think Kristen put that panel up, and Ray's like, "Yes, where's this from?"
I need to catch up on reading that. I know they gosh, she beat Batman. Nice, Ray. I do need to catch up on DC versus Vampires, but it doesn't have a certain Hal Jordan in it anymore because I don't know. I'm a little iffy on how they explain that. No shade on Nightwing, but Hal Jordan's shtick is basically willpower. So how did that work?
I don't know.
Magic. It's got to be magic.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ray! If you love Batman getting his, wait till early next year when we do Green Lantern Rebirth when Hal Jordan comes back in like 2004, 2005. Man, he at the end, man, he decks Batman.
Yeah. Batman and Pale.
Man, damn.
I got to catch up on reading that. I'll have to do that this weekend.
Yeah, there's some decent. There was like some one shots. There was like, was it Hunters with? There was a one shot with Damian, and then they just did Killers one, which is basically like, it's basically Harley Quinn Vampire Hunter.
I can only imagine how zany that is.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
All right. So anything else?
I can't think of anything. Looking forward to next week. Well,
I'm sure you will.
Look forward to every week, but I'm also looking forward to next week.
And just wait till the end of the like around issue 105, 106 next week, William. Not one Hal Jordans, but 2.
Oh yeah. Is it really 2? I mean,
well,
the other one, yeah. Okay.
Parallax, Jordans. Hey, old. All right, kids. So send your thoughts. What did you think of Summer '69? Again, next week we'll be back to the present of 1998 to cover Emerald Knights, Green Lantern 100 through 106, and in 2 weeks we're gonna be doing DC 1 million and Green Lantern 1 million. So yeah, we'll get to that Grant Morrison DC 1 million stuff.
Nice.
Crazy. All right, kids. So send your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. Yeah, 2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Sector 2814 on Facebook, on Twitter. Go join the Green Lantern Facebook fan group. Find links to all the various social medias for all the DC and Marvel shows we do. Link to the YouTube channels. Go subscribe to the YouTube. It's completely free. Everything we do, Summer of '69, every second of Summer of '69 is up there. Eventually, all the interviews go up there. Capes and Lunatics 270. We're going to be talking to Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing, the current writers of Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, and the new Batman Beyond Neo year. So we're going to be talking to two gentlemen who are currently working at DC and Marvel. So, be like, hey, would you compare and contrast what those experiences are like? All right. So, so smash that subscribe button so you don't ever miss a moment of the YouTube stuff.
Smash it.
And of course, Patreon. Patreon again. We don't have the Guardians backing us up, so we're paying for this out of our own pocket. It's a labor of love. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with Mr. DG Chichester himself.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And of course, because Lilith loves man pain, superhero movie brackets, we will find the worst superhero movie of all time. The July episode, kids, because Lilith Hellfire said there wasn't enough man pain. Joining us for Halle Berry's Catwoman versus Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, Hal Jordan fanboy himself. Yep, he's right there on the screen.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
The pain.
Hey, maybe you have an excuse finally to say, hey, well, at least it's not, it's bad, but it's not Catwoman bad. Something worse. Come on.
But what if the opposite is true?
Oh, that would be a hard fight, but yeah,
I guess we shall see.
I face that every month, Will. So subscribe to the Patreon if you can, or pick yourself up Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/CapesandLunatics. And hopefully one day soon we will get the return of our lost brother, Mr. Matt Kona. Until then, follow him everywhere on every social media on earth at Matt Kona, MATTKONA. Follow him for the funny.
Suck it, Lilith.
There you go.
When he gives me his bone.
See you later, Bunky.
All right, Mr. Will Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of the crossover division, as Ray pointed out, master of the Kickstarter, master of the podcasting. Where can people find you?
In one or two places. You can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED. That's Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and other social media that I don't remember at this point. You can also find out anything you want to about Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. And if you'd like to check out the Kickstarter, you can go to crossoverdivision.com/KS or /Kickstarter, and it'll take you right to the project, and you can take a look. If you'd also like to check out another book of mine with artist Gene Gonzalez, it's called Diary of Night, and you can check that out at diaryofnight.com. And besides hanging with Phil, who humors me every week, I also hang out with writer Kevin Joseph, and on a podcast we call Explain Yourself, where we bring on comic Kickstarter creators or comics crowdfunding creators, and they get a chance to explain themselves and their project every Friday night at 11 Eastern. So that's a lot of fun. And obviously you have great taste in characters because you love Green Lantern, whichever Green Lantern you love, except Lord Malvolio. Anyway, and that means you must love Quasar too. So if you'd like to find out all kinds of cool stuff about Quasar, you can check that out at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org. I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party. I, of course, love Hal Jordan. Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
And again, come on, Will. This William is talented, skilled. I mean, a great guy. Trust me. If I'm humoring anyone in my life, it's not you, William. Trust me.
Well, thank you.
All right, kids. Come back next time as we go back to the future.
1998.
But more Hal Jordan.
I forgot that there were so many crossovers. I forgot about DC 1 million. Then there was Day of Vengeance. Then there was
and then Circle of Fire, just the Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah, Circle of Fire. I mean, the yearly or biannual DC crossovers, of all their titles.
I know, man. Ron Marsh is going through that minefield.
Yep.
All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, don't take that girl to the beach. Good night.